So here's an update on the Beetle. I have the sides to the bed permanently attached. You can see here, it's all that 3M glue, panel glue. They're glued on. They're glued and bolted all into my track. Actually, I've got some more of those bolts left over, about a dozen of them. So I might put a couple more bolts in between, but I believe those were like every 5-6 inches. Here's how this all came out. That looks good. Now I did have to, because of that, I had to pop some holes through there to get my screws into the inside piece of fiberglass. And the fender is going to come like right through here somehow. So a couple of these holes will have to be filled. Well, I'll fill them all, but only a few of them are above the fender. But you can see my seam in there. And this is how it meets the bed, or the cab. It's all seamed up in the front real good. See that over there real good. Now what I'm going to do, since the fenders are on, or the sides are on, I'm going to fill this gap a little bit. I'm going to fiberglass and backfill this. I left this at the bare minimum. There had to be a space there and on the other one, because if I made them really tight like I did the first time, then I could not get them on. They wouldn't pop up over that wheel well, so I had to leave a little bit of play there. I built them all up real tight, and then I had to cut them back to get them on. But yeah, this come out real good. See how that's all in there? And tomorrow I'm going to sandblast this piece of pipe and work on the trailer hitch. Now this, I noticed this was the piece that I cut off of that receiver. This fits perfect down in here. So what I'm going to do to finish the trailer hitch, once I get it welded, I'll get it welded in here to the bumper struts. And then this piece, I'm going to run it down in between the actual bumper and this, and weld it to the top of that receiver, and then weld it to here and here. So I'm going to work on that tomorrow. I've got the trunk all done, sealed up. That's, well, that was glue. I had some of that glue. I just put that glue everywhere. I didn't want to throw it away, as expensive as it was. I had 4 tubes, which is 2 tubes for each side. I got all that drilled out. That's my plate. So really the only thing I got to do is weld those 2 little holes off, and then the bed is done. Those 2 little holes and that little bit of fiberglass gapping up in there, the bed is done. I'll let it sit for a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. Let all this, make sure this glue, well, I'm going to leave those clamped for a few days. But make sure this is all dry. It says for 24 hours dry, 48 hours allegedly to completely dry. So I'm going to let it sit for a week or 2. Actually, once I fiberglass that, then I'll put some seam sealer over there and, you know, tighten that up. I got to put some seam sealer over this glue, tighten it all up. Back in here, some places I didn't get to because I still need to do welding. I don't want to finish this all off and start welding again. So I'm going to let that sit. Hopefully I'll get a good day in October, up around 70, where I can put the bed liner on it. So there's the sides. They're all glued on with that 3M body adhesive, and you see I got like 30 little screws all the way around that wheel well. They're stainless. They're not going to rust. They're all tapped out into that fender, and then I just destroyed it with that glue behind it. What I was not sparing a drop. But that's how the seam works out into the cab, and then from there this will flip. This piece will roll out like this to the rocker panel cover. That's where the top of the rocker panel will cover that piece of the door, and it'll come right to here. And it steps back, and the rocker panel curves up this in. So right at the top of that blue line, it'll start to curve up to here. But I don't want to do this until the rocker panel's on. But yeah, the sides are on. They're not coming off. You can see I got all up underneath. And there's that seam. You would ask about how it was going to meet the cab. Remember I showed you in the one video how it tucked back in that pocket? So that's it. That's that 3M. It's the body panel glue. But it came out great. I got the top down now. It's all bolted along there. Wish that was any color but that tan. It's not a big deal. I'm supposed to be able to sand that and paint it. So probably what I'll do when I'm gonna have to do more body work here, and it'll probably get primed over at some point. I sand it all out when I get ready to put the paint over that. I'll probably use some flexible adhesive. Just hit it with the flexible adhesive and then paint it, clear coat it. But it's looking really nice. It's coming along good.